Apparently, a lot of people liked my idea.
Which one?
Having Evan come in one day a week for me.
Oh, yeah.
They said, why don't you make it 5?
Wow.
That's pretty good.
You got plans?
Hey, Willard and Dibs in the house.
Tell them your joke you had when you got out the car at the golf course. Yesterday.
No, why? Dibs, I made it to Karika. Guru's still on the air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had a ball.
I swear to God, I'm at the Karika parking lot, and it's 2:27.
We had a
and
ball.
you guys couldn't lose him.
Wait a minute. If you can get there that fast, why'd you leave so early?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Why don't you hit Waze before you leave?
No, he
It's the
took
greatest
Bart,
thing
too.
going.
Bart to the car and
that's
then
the only
drove.
way I can do it to make it.
You got to Karika at 2:27?
No, I got to West Oakland at 2:27.
Okay. All right.
And I turned on the radio.
He's a little
and there he
jelly.
was
Yeah.
at 2:27.
There he was.
We had a ball.
Talking.
Yeah, we had a ball.
You know,
We
just
invited him to stay long.
Same old talking points at 2:27.
Good, though. Good.
Yeah, we had a ball.
Yeah,
Awesome.
tomorrow's not promised.
Never
which was
is.
great, yeah. It's great. I think you were here for that part of it. And then
Right,
you
yeah.
walked us off.
He left.
Yeah, you dropped the bombshell and left.
Shot
as
a
I recall.
93.
Yeah, I had the same score yesterday.
No, I won't be leaving at 2 anymore. I don't have to. I can get there at 3.
Boss got to you.
He means nothing. First of all, it means absolutely nothing.
I think we.
Last thing he said to me was, hey, if you want to leave at 2, leave at 2. I said, okay.
2:11.
But
Yeah, day's getting longer,
I've left
too.
at 2.
And then suffer the consequences.
I left
There
at
you
2.
go.
Yeah.
I've left at 2, I would say, 4% of the time.
But 87% you said you're leaving at 2 and then you cower.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm scared of Willard.
That's pretty good.
Like
Those are facts.
Like today was not worth leaving early yesterday because I got to hear it.
Someone asked me. I rode the elevator because I went and got an extra coffee. So I rode the elevator 20 minutes ago, and I was asked, over under, what time do you think Steiny's leaving? And I'm not going to share with you what the over under was.
This is unreal.
But I said, oh, he's not going anywhere today.
Oh, boy.
We have a meeting today.
I know you have a meeting.
Yeah.
I know you have a meeting.
There
but
you
I'm
go.
like,
I love him.
he left at 1:59 and 50 seconds yesterday for golf. He's not going anywhere today.
See,
This is
now,
draft
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
that
And you're
goo,
cheesing.
that goo.
He not
Your
going.
Clint Eastwood when they're not around. Now
Goo,
you're
it's
little,
okay when you say that.
He's
Yeah.
not
Eddie
going.
Haskell now.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
See what I
Don't
mean?
look
He's
at
not
me.
going anywhere.
Hey,
today.
I mean, it's free will up in here.
Oh, let me guess, Goo.
Tomorrow's not promised.
There are two teams on the TV that aren't as good as the Warriors, but they're still playing.
Now, I got a bet to worry about tonight with Willard and Dibs.
You're in a lot of
I need
trouble.
a Laker
What's the
win.
bet?
Yeah, this guy.
The Lakers were going to win a series.
Did I tell you?
I
he-
know I think we're going to
He
get
folks,
Denver.
I come in here early on Wednesday.
yeah. Don't
This
tell him he
guy,
will.
no, I got to tell him. It was because it was too funny. He comes flying out like 11:45 yesterday.
Oh,
And he sees me, oh, hey, what's going on? Whatever. He goes to the bathroom, comes back in. He's getting, but before the next segment starts, door flies back open. Goes, hey, the bet was off, right? We don't have a bet, right?
I had to check my
And he had a
traps,
big
Steiny.
grin on his face, and it kind of like caught me off guard. Because when someone comes at you like that, you want to be like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost like someone asking you, you good? You good? Yeah, I'm good. The bet was off, right? That was off, right? And I'm like, no,
Denver
this is
lost that last game to San Antonio, fell to the 3.
But
Yeah.
they were winning, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's down. Cue up the Guru, but they were winning by 7.
Well,
Well, while we're in the NBA space, and
Okay.
I know this is a Friday bit at 2 o'clock as far as what's bugging you.
Oh, I can't
but
wait.
What's bugging me is what has happened to my precious association because you watched the Boston-Miami game last night, and they took 75 threes between them. 48.7% of the shots taken were threes. The drive, draw, and kick has turned into the drive and fling, the drive and chuck, or the pass, shoot the three. I'm just going to put it bluntly. I'm sick of it.
Man,
And
I'm right with you.
To me, it's not quite unwatchable, but it's less enjoyable than a game where teams actually, I don't know, shoot the two. So if
There's
they don't
no
want
variety,
if they don't
Dibs.
want if they don't want to make the three good again, make the three
Move it
like
back.
widen the court by 2 feet, make the corner three uniform to the three above the break as we go around the association. To me,
it's bad, man.
It's made the product less enjoyable to watch. It's kind of the base basketball version of the 3 true outcomes.
respond to that, Steiny, because it's real.
Well, he
It's
agrees
your
with me.
favorite player's problem. He caused it.
Steph?
Yes.
No, you're right. And it feels a little hypocritical to criticize it because the Warriors got their championships because of their groundbreaking approach. But now it is beyond the pale.
Man.
They have jumped the shark with the 3-ball, and I find it much less enjoyable to watch.
Did he cause it, or did
the Rockets,
or did analytics cause it?
Both. I think you're right on both.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
Curry and what Curry and Clay did is different than what every other team does.
How so?
They shoot it better.
Right.
They shoot it better. Like the idea that other teams could do what the Warriors do was flawed thinking in the 100%. First place, because they have two guys who shoot it better than anybody who's ever shot it. So other teams just started using the math. Well, the math works a lot better for the Warriors.
Well, they also have two guys who created threes through either breaking down their man or through ball movement, as opposed to what LeBron James, if you want to really blame someone, what LeBron James perfected was, I'm a physical freak, give me the ball, surround me with four people who are just standing there, which is what the Rockets then took even to another level with James Harden.
Yep.
Surround people who are just standing there to catch and shoot. And that's the brand of basketball that I don't find all that fun to watch. But
3-on-1 now, Willard, they're kicking out a 3-on-1. They're throwing it, shooting it wide.
Like, it's like any other sport, though, where someday you do figure it's going to have to change. Like tiger-proofing Augusta, or what we talk about with, okay, now you're throwing 102 miles an hour. What happens when that gets to 107? Man. You're going to move the mound, or you're going to lower the mound.
Yep.
And
you think that's coming?
I mean, what, the 3-point line moving back or the mound? It's probably going to have to.
Man.
If you look at 1968,
someone's going to get killed.
And you look at the last time they lowered the mound, they lowered it from 15 inches to 10, which is where it currently sits. And it was because of a guy named Bob Gibson.
Oh, man.
Whose ERA was 1.12. That year, there were, I believe, 7 teams in baseball that hit less than 230 as a team. Mark and I did this last week. As of last week, there were 9 teams in baseball hitting below 230 this year. And the ERAs aren't going to be as good because pitchers usually only go 6 innings. But look around the league at guys throwing 97 plus. Every team's got probably at least 2 guys who can throw amazing, 97 plus. The Giants have Doval and Jordan Hicks, and you can go around every team, and it's just garden variety now to throw 97 plus.
Yeah, just going back to basketball, where I think we're headed for a change is, so we've seen this kind of possession all the time, where guy has the ball at the 3-point line, somebody runs at him, they put the ball on the floor, they penetrate, then they kick back out.
Yep.
And
Jaquez to Robinson, Robinson to Hero, back to Jaquez.
And what does it always relate? And there's a 3 from somebody. So in the past, you broke down the defense, and if you got to play 5-on-4 or 4-on-3, you would get a good shot, maybe even a layup. Well, now it always ends up in a 3-point shot, and what's the best 3? Oh, the corner 3. That's the one we all love.
What is it, 21-9 in the corner?
Yeah, but let's say, they shoot 40% in the corners. Okay, that's still 2 out of 5. That means you've broken down the defense. You've got mid-range opportunities left and right, maybe even a quick pass for a layup. You're still getting the shot you want, but it's only a 40% shot still. That's where I think people are going to realize.
But you got to go north of 60% on your 2s to beat that.
And that's why
3 out of 5 2s equals 2 out of 5 3s.
Right.
But what they're eschewing more and more are layups and stuff like that off penetration. Guy will drive into the lane, big man comes to guard him, you bounce pass, he gets a layup. That's just an automatic 2. Like those, they're not. Teams don't look for that as much. They're looking for penetration and to kick it out more than penetration, unless it's the alley-oop for the dunker spot.
To Mark's point about the math, though, so you'd have to go 3 for 3 on those penetrate and bounce pass layups in order to match you going 2 for 5 on the corner 3.
Well, yeah, I would look at it. So 5 times we're playing at an advantage.
Right, 5 on 4 from the top of the circle.
Can we score 3 or 4 of those times?
You probably should. But
I mean, my math would be, if you can get that, The math is the math. And I'm going to have to say, well, you got to make 4 out of 5 2-pointers to equal 3 out of 5 3-pointers,
right,
which would still be better.
Point behind, yeah.
But
3-pointers.
What maybe you're not factoring in, though, is it's more work. Like I look.
Good point.
I look at the 2-point shot, the layup is kind of like, I don't know, like maybe like staying 10 minutes later at work.
Woo-hoo,
and so
shots fired.
you have to be willing to put a little extra effort in order to get that payoff, or you could just mail in a 3 and then, go play golf.
211.
Yeah.
That's a
point. He went and got that one.
That was terrible.
If you weren't so afraid of him, you would rat-a-tat-tat right back at him.
No rat-a-tat-tat.
You would talk about, why do I have to stick around and carry you guys for that opening quarter hour?
Well, I know
your
why
own
I do.
Show?
No, I know I have to carry you for the first half
Because you're afraid of Willard.
No, because
there's a drop.
That's what the greats do. They put teams on their back.
I love it.
I mean, we've seen it with Steph. For how many?
Simple solution to this is you widen the court and you make the corner 3 a real 3, because then it won't be such a gimme shot, and the teams that rely on substandard shooters.
I wonder if that would even change it now.
You would not allow your substandard shooter to hoist and jack it up from 23-9.
It's not that it's a bad thought, but I wouldn't call that a simple solution. Changing the measurements of the game from what they've been forever, that's a huge change.
Baseball did it last year. They changed what's the distance between first and second? It's not 90 feet.
Oh, I mean, you're talking about an inch.
Basketball,
it's like more like 6 inches.
No.
3 inches on each
got
bag.
a history of changing the rules.
Sure, but the size of the court.
There used to not be a 3-point line.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Your era.
And that's what, to me, that's the same as changing a few inches on stealing first to second base. If suddenly you took first and second, the first and third base lines and just like, boom, angled them out toward the dugout.
Well, you get
that's what you're
runs
suggesting.
now, yeah.
That's a huge change. Like, offenses would be completely reconstructed if the court were bigger, don't you think?
No, I think that offenses would realize that the 3 is more of a precious thing that you would only allow the good shooters to shoot, as opposed to now. Last night we had 75 threes hoisted, and Miami beat Boston. Man. Good on you. You made 23 threes. And the whole idea of it's a make-or-miss league has become, it's a make-or-miss league by guys hoisting from 21-9 or further. It used to be about, Alex English getting into the mid-range and George Gervin. I'm not afraid to be the old guy in this conversation because I miss a more diverse basketball than what we have now.
I appreciate that.
Well, you make the court bigger.
A little late, Randy.
You make the court bigger. You're going to get, with today's offensive star, good luck stopping them. You give them more space, they're going to score whenever the hell they want.
But they'll do it in different ways.
Maybe.
Like mid-range, pull-up jumpers, and, penetrate and kick and dunk, and a lot more slashing to the hoop.
I just think the arc of a three-point shooter, they're only getting better. That three-pointer is only feeling more and more like a free throw. That's only going to be the next 10, 20, 30 years. That's only going to grow. So you move that corner 3 out another half foot, they'll hit that too. They'll hit that too at a very high rate. And if your court is now bigger, now it's an even more wide-open game. And, you're going to see games in the 140s and 150s, I would think, constantly.
Raise the rim.
You could do that.
Yeah. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal first-class money market today.
I'm still standing on my spot. I want to see if you guys have anything happened last night to make you think that Ayuk might get traded, because I'm a for sure no now.
May I share a tweet that Diana Rossini just sent?
Oh, boy. I like her, too.
She's good. I believe her.
Oh.
The 49ers have had conversations with teams, including with one picking in the top 10, about trading either of their prized wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, in an effort to move up in the first round.
Wow. I am ready to go.
The wording of that is interesting on two fronts. Because Mike Silver was the first earlier today to put out, and it wasn't that long ago, the idea that teams are now asking about Deebo as well. And it does it serves the same master, if you will.
No doubt.
Right? Like what you're trying to do is only pay one receiver. And I actually dig this idea, even though Debo said last week that he had been promised he won't be traded.
I missed that.
Yeah, he said
By
that.
Mike Dunleavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. But anyway,
man.
To me, if you're going to keep one of these receivers, I'd absolutely much rather keep
We talked about
Brandon Ayuk. But the interesting wording here is she says at the end, this isn't in an effort to clear their salary. It's in an effort to move up in the first round.
Yeah.
In other words, like there's a targeted players, I don't know.
Yeah.
Got to be offensive
That's
line.
a little bit of a different vibe than what we've been talking about, which was just resetting the wide receiver books.
Can you imagine?
Right. Well, if you're going to move up, if you trade Debo and number 31 and you get, let's just call it the 10th for the lack of a clarity on where it'd be in the top 10, then you go from 31 to 10 and you lose Debo. Maybe you get a 4th next year or something else back to compensate for it, and then you get maybe your offensive tackle of the future.
And Ayuk gets his change.
Ayuk gets that big bag, and then you draft a wide receiver somewhere in the second round, because the wide receiver draft is top heavy, but it's bottom full. There's the big 3 that everyone talks about, and then after that, there's 8 to 12 wide receivers, depending on whose mock you're looking at, who are all going to be second to third round guys. Yeah. And if you love one of them, they'll be available for you later in the draft, perhaps.
You guys like Benjamin Albright?
Love him.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about,
the real BA.
He just, thank you.
You're welcome.
He just quoted, he just quote tweeted the Rossini tweet and just wrote one word, yep.
Whoa.
Which is a cosign to the report.
Thank you.
So one of them
Thank you.
could
Not-
be gone.
well, no,
I was unsure what yep actually meant.
No, meaning it's not showing agreement
they're
with
looking.
the idea. It's showing agreement that, yes,
the report,
these
right.
conversations are underway.
You know what that is, right? It's a corroboration sensation.
I was going to say.
Is what it is. I use that in the green room.
I was
so-
going to say conversation sensation, but that's way too
he's
boring.
corroborating the report.
I stole something
Well,
coming
I'm
in this
dragging
morning.
here, guys.
What's
Hang
wrong?
in
Look
there.
at that.
dragging
It's
here,
only
guys.
205.
You are?
Shout out, Puff.
We had fun with the
Then
positions
go.
that hit in the draft, and then listeners were like, Willard and Dibs did that last
Yeah, he
week.
stole your idea.
I stole it from the TV this morning. We had fun of.
Wait,
if I
what
said,
did we do? What was it?
Remember
Since
the percentage
2000
of
to
drafts that hit and
2019,
miss.
Oh.
the picks that hit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah.
And wide receiver was last, and then
Dead
Steiny,
last.
like only Steiny could do. What if a player gets 2 contracts from the same team? Does that constitute as a hit? Or can it
that
be?
is the hit, right?
That is the hit.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big loophole in this.
Right.
There's a
But
big
like
error.
Diggs would be a hit if he got his second contract. That's not a miss.
Like
No, but-
Amari Cooper is considered a miss.
Thank you, Steiny.
As is A.J.
then
Brown.
that's why
Okay.
that is
And-
that low then,
and-
because that's not.
Well, no, but
Now I got an issue with that
those
being
guys
no,
get
there's an
traded
issue with it, but
or
that's
get
true.
traded.
That's true for every position. But yes,
Now it's
and-
about tenure.
Well, look, there's no perfect way to describe hit or miss. How do you describe that?
I would say Diggs has panned out, and so has Amari.
Of course, but again, now we're getting into the realm of opinion. You have to, in order to make a chart, you had to actually have a factual
two
way to do it.
okay.
There's definitely a hole in the way that
right,
they built
right.
that, because as we said
Man.
yesterday, it would mean that A.J. Brown is a miss and Daniel
All right,
Jones
okay.
is a hit.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
And that's
There we go.
obviously not accurate.
It might be too simplistic, but
But the
Mark's right.
O-lineman is
It is
real.
simplistic across the board.
Yeah,
Right. And it gives you an idea.
And I
It's
wonder
not-
because O linemen are. That's the one I think.
And well, the centers are 10 for 11 or
Yeah.
something.
And
Yes, they are.
And
I mean-
offensive linemen, I do think are
I'm
the
with
easiest.
you.
They
I'm
are
with
the
you.
easiest, like famous offensive lineman busts. Tony Mandrich,
yeah.
Oh, man.
and what's the next one? Right. Like there's really
No, there's
like,
one more.
There's not that
There
many.
is one.
Good time
more.
to promote Tony Mandrich's appearance on I'm Listening
Oh, yeah.
with our
Good job,
boss.
Bada-
You
yeah.
can find it on the Odyssey app.
Boss killing it.
Yeah, really good interview talking about what Tony went through
No doubt.
mentally and emotionally after he went from boom to bust.
Him and Bosworth, the biggest bust to me. Mandrich and
Yeah, I mean, among those positions, we can.
Jamarcus Russell
Well,
Riley.
talk
And I hate to say this to you, Goo, because
Oh, boy.
it's Trey Lance.
Well, I thought we had a great time yesterday saying I made an argument that he's only played quarterback 4 games.
Correct.
We could make the argument that he's not in that group.
No, he's
Like, I'm excited to see what Lance can do.
He's not in
Didn't we
Bustville
talk-
yet, but he's
Help
shopping
me,
for a
Willard.
house.
You had my back yesterday. 4
I mean,
games.
what?
With
Yeah, it's only been 4 games.
Yeah.
Four good games.
No, but I come from the area code of there's a reason he's only been allowed to start 4 games. Like coaches
broke his ankle.
Practice matters.
He broke his ankle.
Coaches
practice matters.
Lost his job to injury.
Yeah. Got to beat somebody out. We don't just hand you positions.
Lost his job to injury after the head coach had already gone to the owner and said, "We got a 7th rounder who's way better."
So did who was it? Trent Williams and
Fred Warner.
That was incredible.
Seems like they might know football.
If Trey goes on to start and play somewhere and actually get a gig and play pretty well,
or then get a shot,
then he can move out of Bustville. But right now, he's not in Bustville yet, but he's looking for a home.
Although you could argue there's 2 different ways to define the word bust. And you could firmly say bust because the team that freaked out to get him does not get to keep him. For the 49ers, Trey Lance was a bust.
So the James Wiseman thing.
Right.
You can be Lou Alcindor in Detroit.
James is going to be a bust, no matter what.
And Matt Jones
I had
in
talked
his
with a
rookie
good
year
friend of
led
mine
his team to the
yesterday.
playoffs.
Detroit?
Good friend of mine yesterday, he's like, hey, where'd that guy that the Warriors drafted, that big guy, go?
This is James
Left
Wiseman.
me a message.
There you go, Greg.
By the time I called him back, he's like, yeah, I'd Googled it. And he went to Detroit. Man, he hasn't done a damn thing, has he?
Oh, boy.
I said, yeah, pal. You
got to Google
Could you imagine had they hit on that where he would be right now for this franchise? Hey, Curry.
See, I can't imagine this.
Here's the baton. He would be out of his puberty. He would be ready.
What if he was...
I'm just saying if he was good.
What if he was Alperen Şengün?
No doubt. No.
Wow.
What if he was Şengün?
Well, then we talk. Then he'd be better.
We'd be still in the dynasty window.
You would think you got something for the future, Steiny.
I mean, Şengün's a real one now. I mean,
he's a badass.
Yes, he's a great player.
I hate they went
He's
on a
so
run
good that
without
they
him.
got better without him.
That's
Because all he does is clog the middle. What time is it?
You got 2 more minutes.
Yeah, you got 1 more minute.
Oh, this has been a good
But Mac Jones led his team to the playoffs in the first year.
Oh, God.
I know it's bad, but damn, that don't get me out of Busville. I know you're not on the team anymore, but
he is
Trevor Lawrence.
firmly
What
in
word would you
Bustville.
use for Trevor?
Oh, Trevor's not
Trevor's
a bust
good.
at all.
Trevor's a good player.
Yeah.
But how far are we away from is he the guy?
He doesn't live in Bustville, but he doesn't live in elite town.
No,
he lives in between those two places.
Like you don't. I mean, there's got to be some sort of a middle ground.
Won a playoff game.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is even like that's not. He's not a bust.
He lives in Fairfield.
Yeah.
If
He's 3 incompletions.
Fairfield.
He lives in
Fairfield.
Well, sure. If he goes over 3 to start the year.
I was just saying. He's the one.
He's good. He's good. He's.
Do you think Caleb Williams is like? I don't know.
Well, this is what we were playing with.
That backyard stuff
gonna get
you
into
do
it.
ain't gonna work on Sundays when you
backyard boogie.
Fran
you called it. I love that.
Yeah, like okay.
I know that. I know this question's been bouncing around the building so far today, but there's a different way or different reason I'm looking for the answer. If the Niners had the first pick in the draft tonight, would you take Caleb?
And that's a great question.
I'm being real. I'm saying no. Dibs, I don't know where you're at.
I probably would lean no.
Okay. Only lean though. Why lean?
I'll tell you why is because it's not because I think Purdy's the greatest quarterback of all time. It's because of just the uncertainty that I saw in 2021. Like I just don't think they're sure things.
PTSD.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You're talking about Purdy or Caleb?
Caleb.
No, what I'm saying is,
2021 class.
What I'm saying is, I'm not necessarily passing on Caleb Williams because I think Purdy's great. I don't know that Caleb Williams is going to be any good.
That is my
like Purdy's good enough now.
What I don't, and I do think that this is what happens. The draft is exciting, and we're on Twitter, and everyone's waiting now. Ooh,
but you've seen Brock though.
But that's the point. Like we get overly excited about shopping. We love to go shopping. And
Bird
this
in the
is
hand
new
is better than
stuff.
2 in the draft.
But I want to remind everyone that half the time when you open up a Christmas or a Hanukkah present, you return it. So I know it's exciting to open the presents, but at least half the time it doesn't fit. And so whether you're talking Purdy or Caleb or the actual thing we're talking about, Brandon Ayuk and his replacement, I am going to every time. I will pick the one that I know can play.
Right.
Versus and I'm willing to pay for it.
So you got your Caleb Williams technically with Brock Purdy.
You got
Brock Purdy.
we got a meeting.
By the way, pay the over.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The line's always set at 212.
No, I've been hearing that, Willard.
It's always set at 212. Yeah.
Guy's not even on the shoulder.
All right, I got to go.
What?
You're bothering me now.
Tomorrow's a payday Friday. You're going to set the line at 2:06. 2:06
I don't even know if we'll be here.
You know what? I may have to make an airport run, so I may be here till 2:27.
Oh, look at you. You're welcome to.
Just stay for the whole show if you want.
All right, gents.
When's the flight?
I know.
Yeah,
we'll be listening.
All right, gents.
Yeah.
Countdown to draft.
What's the name of the station?
I think you know it.
Okay.
95.7, the game. Mm-hmm.
Yay!